The Council's mistake. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council was filled with angry voices. 47 alien species sat in their special seats, all talking at once. The room was huge, made of crystal that glowed with soft blue light. But today nobody cared about the beauty. They were all afraid. At the center of the room stood High Chancellor Vornak. He was tall with purple skin and 4 arms. His eyes were bright red, showing his anger. He raised his hands and the room became silent. "Fellow council members," Vornak said in his deep voice, "we are here to discuss the human problem." A wave of worried sounds filled the room. Everyone had heard about humans, these strange creatures from a small blue planet called Earth. They were new to space, only 200 years of space travel, but they were causing trouble. "The humans asked to join our council 6 months ago," Vornak continued. "We said no. They are too primitive, too violent, too unpredictable. They are dangerous," shouted Ambassador Krell from the back. He was a small green creature with big eyes. "I heard they still fight wars on their own planet." "Exactly," Vornak nodded. "We cannot allow such a violent species into our peaceful council. We must teach them a lesson." Commander Zaltos sat quietly in his chair. He was a warrior from the planet Draxon. His people had won 1,000 battles across the galaxy. But something felt wrong today. When the humans left the council 6 months ago, their leader had said something strange. "You will regret this decision," the human ambassador had warned them. Then she smiled. It was not an angry smile. It was something else. Something that made Zaltos uncomfortable. "Sir," a young officer ran into the chamber. "A human ship is approaching the station." The council members started talking loudly again. Vornak laughed. "Only one ship? They are fools. They come here to beg us again. Should we destroy them?" asked General Thrax. He commanded the council defense fleet. "Not yet," Vornak said. "Let them come close. Let them see our power. Then we will send them away, like the primitive creatures they are." On the view screens around the room, everyone could see the human ship. It was small, nothing special. Just a simple silver vessel moving slowly toward the council station. Zaltos watched the screen carefully. Something was wrong. Why send only one small ship? Humans were not stupid. They had built faster than light engines in just 50 years. That was faster than most species in the galaxy. The human ship stopped 1 million kilometers away from the station. Then it just waited. It did nothing. Just floated in space. "What are they doing?" Vornak asked, confused. "I don't know, sir," the officer replied. "Our scanners show nothing special about that ship. It has basic weapons, basic shields. It's just waiting." Minutes passed. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. The human ship did not move. "This is boring," Vornak said. "General Thrax, send some ships. Tell the humans to leave, or we will open fire." "Yes, sir." General Thrax stood up and gave orders. 100 council warships moved toward the small human vessel. They were powerful ships, with weapons that could destroy planets. Zaltos felt his heart beating faster. This was wrong. All wrong. Why would humans come here with one weak ship? It made no sense. The council warships surrounded the human ship. "Human vessel," General Thrax spoke through the communication system. "You have 30 seconds to turn around and leave, or we will destroy you." The human ship did not respond. It just waited. 20 seconds. Thrax counted down. Zaltos stood up from his chair. "Wait," he shouted. "Something is not right here." But nobody listened to him. Everyone was watching the countdown. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3. Suddenly, every light in the council station went dark. Complete darkness. Then red emergency alarms started screaming. The sound was terrible, loud, frightening. "What's happening?" Vornak shouted in the darkness. Emergency lights came on, bathing everything in red light. On the view screens, Zaltos saw something that made his blood turn cold. Space itself was bending, twisting, like someone was breaking the rules of physics. Dark waves spread across the stars, making everything look strange and wrong. "Sir," the officer's voice was shaking with fear. "Something is appearing. Something big." Through the windows of the council chamber, they could all see it now. Space was tearing open, not like a normal hyperspace jump. This was different. Reality itself was breaking apart, and something was coming through. The small human ship suddenly broadcast a message on all communication channels. A human voice, calm and cold. "The Galactic Council is now in session." "Our session," Zaltos grabbed his chair with both hands. His warrior instincts were screaming danger. More danger than he had ever felt in his entire life. Chancellor Vornak's face turned white with fear. "What? What is that?" he whispered. The view screen showed impossible readings. Energy levels that should not exist. Mass signatures larger than moons. And more ships appearing. 1, 10, 50, 100. But these were not normal ships. They were coming out of darkness itself. The Council had made a terrible, terrible mistake. The impossible fleet space was breaking. That was the only way to describe it. Commander Zaltos had fought in 100 battles across 50 star systems. He had seen weapons that could burn entire planets. He had faced enemies that terrified other warriors. But he had never seen anything like this. The darkness was spreading. It was not the normal darkness of space. This was different. This darkness was moving, alive, hungry. It rolled across the stars like black fog. And where it touched, reality bent and twisted. "Report," Chancellor Vornak shouted. His voice was high and scared now. Not the proud, angry voice from before. "Sir." The scanning officer's hands were shaking as he read his instruments. I don't understand these readings. They make no sense." "What do you mean?" General Thrax demanded. "The energy signatures are impossible, sir. These numbers they're reading negative mass. That can't exist. And the quantum signatures are showing these objects exist in two places at the same time." On the giant view screens around the council chamber, everyone watched in silent horror. The first ship appeared through the dark fog. It was massive, 10 times bigger than the largest council warship. Its hull was pure black, so black that it seemed to absorb all light around it. Looking at it hurt the eyes. Then another ship appeared beside it. Then another, and another. "Count them," Vornak ordered. 100 ships, sir." "No, wait. 200, 500. The officer's voice broke. "Sir, they keep coming. 1,000 ships now. 2,000. The council chamber erupted in panic. Alien species were shouting, screaming, running for the exits. Some were praying to their gods. Others were crying. Zaltos stood frozen, watching the impossible fleet materialize from nothing. His warrior training told him to fight, but his instincts, the deep survival instincts from millions of years of evolution, told him to run, to hide, to surrender. Where did they come from? Ambassador Krell asked, his big eyes wide with terror. Our spies watched Earth. We knew everything about human military. They had maybe 300 warships. "Small ships, not these!" "They came from dark matter," Zaltos said quietly. Everyone turned to look at him. "That's why our scanners cannot understand them. These ships exist partially in normal space and partially in dark matter space. They're using dark energy as power. That's impossible. No species in the galaxy has this technology." "How do you know this?" Vornak demanded. "Because I'm reading the same data as everyone else," Zaltos replied. "And because I'm not panicking. I'm thinking." He walked closer to the view screen, studying the human fleet. Each ship was slightly different, but all were the same terrible black color. They moved smoothly, silently, like sharks swimming through an ocean. "An ocean of darkness." "Try to scan them," Zaltos ordered. "We already did, Commander." "The scanners can't lock on. The ships exist in both universes simultaneously. Our targeting systems don't know what to do." Zaltos nodded slowly. "Smart, very smart. Humans study our technology for 6 months, then they build something completely different. Something we cannot fight." "Can't fight?" General Thrax shouted. "We are the Galactic Council. We have ruled this galaxy for 10,000 years. We will show these primitive humans their place." He grabbed his communication device. "All Council warships open fire. Destroy the human fleet." "No, wait." Zaltos tried to stop him, but it was too late. 100 Council warships opened fire at once. Energy beams, plasma missiles, quantum torpedoes. Every weapon in the Council arsenal. The space between the Council station and the human fleet lit up like a star-going supernova. The light was so bright that protective shields covered the chamber windows automatically. Everyone held their breath. The light faded. The human fleet was still there. Completely undamaged. Not a single scratch on any ship. "What? How?" Thrax could not speak. "Our weapons passed through them," the weapons officer reported, his voice dead and empty. "They phased into dark matter space just before impact. The weapons hit nothing but empty space. Fire again." Thrax screamed. "It won't work," Zaltos said quietly. But Thrax did not listen. Another massive barrage of weapons fire. Same result. The human ships just let the weapons pass through them like ghosts. They did not even move, did not dodge, did not need to. Then one of the massive human ships moved forward. Just one. It glided silently through space toward the council station. "Sir," the officer's voice was barely a whisper. "That ship, it has its own gravity field. It's so massive that it's pulling us toward it." The entire council station began to shake. Small objects started sliding across floors. The artificial gravity was fighting against the pull of the human ship and losing. All the screens in the chamber suddenly turned on. Every single one. They all showed the same thing. A human face. She was a woman, maybe 50 years old by human standards. She had short dark hair, brown eyes, and wore a simple gray uniform. Her face was calm, almost friendly, but her eyes were cold and hard. "Members of the Galactic Council," she said in perfect galactic common language. "My name is Captain Sarah Chen, commander of the human deep space fleet. You wanted to see human military power?" No one in the council chamber spoke. They barely breathed. "6 months ago, you rejected us," Captain Chen continued. "You called us primitive, violent, dangerous. You said we were not worthy to join your council." She paused. "You were right about one thing. We are dangerous, but not in the way you thought." One of the black ships began to glow, not with light, with something else, darkness that glowed. A weapon was powering up, pulling energy from the dark matter itself. Zalthos felt his legs go weak. He had to hold onto his chair to stay standing. He was a warrior. He had faced death 1,000 times. But this was different. This was not a battle. This was an execution. "Let me show you," Captain Chen said softly, "why rejecting us was a mistake." The weapon finished charging. The dark energy gathered at the front of the ship, forming a ball of absolute blackness. A hole in space itself. Zalthos closed his eyes. He thought of his home planet, his family, his children. He had told them he would return after this mission. He would not keep that promise. "Fire," Captain Chen ordered. Power demonstration. The weapon fired, but not at the council station. The beam of pure dark energy shot across space, moving faster than light itself. It curved through the void like a living thing, a river of darkness flowing through the stars. 2 light seconds away, there was a small moon. It orbited a dead planet that nobody cared about. The moon was made of rock and ice. Nothing special, nothing important. The dark energy beam hit the moon. Everyone in the council chamber watched their screens in complete silence. They expected an explosion, a massive blast that would tear the moon apart. That's what weapons did. They destroyed things violently, but this was different. The moon did not explode. Instead, it began to disappear. Starting from where the beam touched it, the moon simply stopped existing, like someone was erasing it from reality itself. The rock, the ice, everything, gone, not blown apart, not vaporized, just gone. In 10 seconds, the entire moon vanished. Where it had been, there was only empty space. The beam had erased it so completely that even the gravity signature disappeared. The moon had never existed. The universe forgot it. Ambassador Krell fainted. He fell from his chair and hit the floor. Nobody helped him. Everyone was staring at the empty space where a moon used to be. One of the alien scientists, a being made of pure crystal, started crying. Tears of liquid light ran down its face. That's matter annihilation at the quantum level," it whispered. "That's not just destruction. That's erasure from space-time itself." Captain Chen's face appeared on the screens again. She was still calm, still friendly, like she had just shown them a simple trick, not a weapon that could delete reality. "That was 0.01% power," she said. Her voice was soft, almost gentle. "Shall we continue the demonstration?" Chancellor Vornak's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. No sound came out. His forearms hung limp at his sides. All his pride, all his anger from before was gone. Only terror remained. Finally he found his voice. "How?" He had to stop and breathe. "How do you have this technology?" "Our spies watched your planet. We know everything about you. You've only been in space for 200 years. This level of technology should take 10,000 years to develop." Captain Chen smiled. It was not a cruel smile. just tired, like a teacher explaining something simple to a child who refuses to understand. You're correct, Chancellor. We are new to space, very new. We still fight wars on our own planet. We still have poverty and disease. We are primitive in many ways. She leaned forward slightly. But you forgot something important about humans. We don't follow the rules. We don't do things the way you expect. We don't ask permission. The screen changed. It showed a flashback. Images from 5 years ago. A human research station floating in deep space. Scientists in white coats working with strange equipment. 5 years ago, Captain Chen's voice narrated, our scientists were studying dark matter, trying to understand it. It was an accident, really. One of our quantum reactors malfunctioned. Instead of exploding, it opened a hole into dark matter space. The images showed the moment of discovery. Scientists staring in shock at impossible readings. Excitement replacing fear. Humans doing what humans did best, learning, adapting, building. We had a choice, Chen continued. We could report this discovery to the Galactic Council, ask for permission to research it, follow proper procedures, she paused. Or we could keep it secret, learn everything we could, build a fleet that no one could stop. The screen showed construction, massive shipyards hidden in dark matter space itself, thousands of humans working in secret, building the impossible. You rejected us because you thought we were weak, Chen said. You thought we would beg. You thought we would accept your judgment. Her eyes went cold. You were wrong. Commander Zalthos found himself nodding. He understood now. The humans had played them all. They had come to the council 6 months ago, knowing they would be rejected. They wanted the rejection. It gave them time to finish their fleet, time to prepare, and the council had given them exactly what they wanted. Commander Zalthos, Captain Chen said suddenly, looking directly at him through the screen. Zalthos jumped. How did she know his name? You're a warrior. You understand strategy. Tell your council what this means. All eyes in the chamber turned to Zalthos. He swallowed hard. His throat was dry. It means, he said slowly, that we never had a chance. From the moment we rejected them, this outcome was certain. They planned this. Every step. Correct. Chen nodded. We gave you one warning, 6 months ago, but you were too proud to listen. General Thrax suddenly stood up. His face was red with rage. This is not over. We are the Galactic Council. We rule 47 star systems, thousands of planets, trillions of citizens. You are just one species from one planet. We will crush you. Captain Chen's expression did not change. She did not look angry. She looked sad. General Thrax of the Chromax Empire, she said quietly. You commanded the fleet that destroyed the Pelthian civilization 300 years ago. You killed 6 billion beings because they refused to join the council. You call yourself a warrior, but you're just a bully who picks on the weak. Thrax's face went from red to white. Let me make something very clear, Chen continued. Her voice was still soft, but now there was steel underneath. We don't want to rule you. We don't want to destroy you. We just want you to understand one simple truth. She paused. Let the silence stretch. You are not in control anymore. Suddenly alarms screamed throughout the council station. Every screen in the chamber changed. They showed different views, different planets, different star systems. Zalthos recognized them immediately. They were the homeworlds, every single council species' home planet, and above each planet, floating in orbit, were human warships. Hundreds of them, the same massive black ships, all powered up, all weapons charged. It was impossible. The human fleet was here, at the council station, but they were also at every homeworld at the same time. How? Dark matter space, Zalthos breathed. They can travel instantaneously through dark matter. Distance means nothing to them. Captain Chen nodded at him through the screen. Smart, Commander, yes. We can be anywhere in the galaxy in seconds. Every council homeworld is currently under our weapons, including yours, Zalthos. Including your family on Draxon Prime. Zalthos felt his heart stop. His wife, his 3 children. They were down there, under those weapons. Weapons that could erase entire moons from existence. You have 60 seconds, Captain Chen said. Decide now. Accept humanity as equal members of this council, with full voting rights and respect, or refuse and watch your worlds disappear. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Species were screaming at each other. Some wanted to fight. Some wanted to surrender. They were tearing each other apart. 45 seconds, Chen counted calmly. Zalthos looked at the screen showing his homeworld. He could see his city from orbit. Somewhere down there, his children were probably in school, learning history, mathematics, never knowing that above them, death waited. 30 seconds. Chancellor Vornak was shouting orders, but nobody listened. The council was breaking apart. 10,000 years of unity destroyed in minutes, 15 seconds. Zalthos made his decision. He ran to the center of the chamber and grabbed Vornak by his robes. "Order a surrender, now, or we all die." "Never," Vornak screamed. "I will not bow to these primitives." 10 seconds. Captain Chen's voice was ice cold now. 9, 8, 7, every being in the chamber was screaming, praying. Some were trying to call their families to say goodbye. 3, 2, 1, complete. Silence fell. Everyone waited for death. "No," Torres corrected gently. "Because of respect. You respected our power, yes. But then we showed you our mercy. We could have ruled you. Instead, we joined you. That earned more than fear, Commander. That earned trust." An alarm suddenly rang through the station. Not the emergency alarms from before. This was different. "A communication alert. Incoming message," the station's AI announced. "Long-range deep space probe. Emergency signal." Everyone in the chamber fell silent. Emergency signals from deep space were rare, and never good news. The main screen activated. It showed static at first, then cleared. A probe's automatic recording played. It showed darkness, deep empty space far beyond any explored systems. Then something moved in that darkness. Something huge. So huge that the probe's instruments could not measure it. A shape like a ship, but organic, alive, and it was moving toward known space. The recording ended with the probe being destroyed, crushed by something unseen. Ambassador Torres's friendly smile was completely gone now. He pulled out a communication device and spoke rapidly in human language. Zalthos did not understand the words, but he understood the tone. Fear. Within seconds, space around the council station shimmered. Human warships appeared, phasing in from dark matter space. Not hundreds this time, thousands. More than anyone had ever seen. They took up defensive positions around the station. Captain Chen's face appeared on the main screen. She was wearing battle armor now, not a uniform. Behind her, the bridge of her ship was lit with red alert lights. "Members of the council," she said, her voice hard and cold. "That probe was at the edge of the galaxy, 3,000 light years from here. Whatever that thing is, it's big, it's powerful, and it's heading this way." She looked directly at Chancellor Vornak. "Still think humans are your problem, Chancellor?" Vornak stared at the screen showing the massive creature in space. Then he looked at Captain Chen. Then at the human fleet surrounding the station ready to protect them. "No," he said quietly. "I think humans might be our salvation." Captain Chen nodded. "Then let's get to work. All of us together." Zalthos looked around the chamber. Every species was standing now, watching the screens, ready to help. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Galactic Council was truly united. Not because they loved each other, but because something far worse than humans was coming. And they would need every ship, every weapon, every species working together to survive what came next. The ancient enemy. The council chamber had become a war room. Holographic maps filled the air, showing star systems, fleet positions, and the dark, unknown regions of space. Species that had barely spoken to each other for centuries now worked side by side, sharing data, comparing weapons, planning defense strategies. Commander Zalthos stood at the central tactical display with Captain Chen, Ambassador Torres, and Chancellor Vornak. The old rivalries seemed meaningless now. They had a bigger problem. "Show me the probe data again," Chen ordered. The hologram replayed the last moments of the deep space probe, the massive shape moving through darkness. It was difficult to see clearly, but the size estimates were terrifying. The creature, or ship, or whatever it was, measured at least 500 kilometers long, maybe more. "That's bigger than some moons," Vornak whispered. His forearms were shaking slightly. "It's not just one," Chen said grimly. She expanded the hologram. "Look here, and here, and here." She pointed at 3 other shadows in the background of the recording. "There are at least 4 of them, maybe more that the probe didn't detect before it died." "What are they?" asked Ambassador Krell, pushing his way to the front. His big eyes were even wider than usual with fear. "We don't know," Chen admitted. "But we found something in our dark matter research. Ancient records. Data hidden in the fabric of dark matter itself, like scars in reality." She waved her hand and new images appeared. Strange symbols, mathematical equations that made no sense, and pictures. Terrible pictures of civilizations being destroyed, planets torn apart, stars going dark. "These records are millions of years old," Chen continued. "They tell a story, a warning. There was a war, a galactic war that happened long before any of our species existed. Two great powers fighting for control of everything. Who won?" General Thrax asked. For once, his voice was not angry. "Just afraid, nobody," Chen replied. "Both sides nearly destroyed the galaxy. In the end, the survivors of one side created weapons. Living weapons. Biological machines designed to hunt and destroy any advanced civilization they found. Then those survivors disappeared. They ran away to another galaxy or another dimension. Nobody knows." She pointed at the creature in the hologram. "We think these things are those weapons. Sleeping for millions of years, waiting, and now something has woken them up." "What woke them?" Zalthos asked, though he feared he already knew the answer. Captain Chen looked at him. "Us, all of us. For 10,000 years the Council has been spreading across the galaxy, building stations, sending signals, making noise. And in the last 5 years, humanity started using dark matter technology. We lit up like a beacon in their sleeping minds." Silence fell across the war room. Every species realized the same terrible truth. They had done this. Their expansion, their progress, their technology. It had all woken something that should have stayed asleep forever. "How long until they reach Council space?" Vornak asked quietly. "At their current speed, 3 months, Torres answered. "Maybe less if they accelerate." 3 months to prepare for war against enemies that destroyed civilizations millions of years ago, Thrax said. He laughed, but it was not a happy sound. "We're doomed, maybe," Chen agreed. "But I didn't survive Earth's world wars, humanity's near extinction, and 200 years of space travel just to give up now." She straightened her shoulders. "We have 3 months. That's 3 months more than those ancient civilizations had. They didn't know what was coming. We do. That gives us an advantage." "What advantage?" Krell squeaked. "Those things destroyed species that were millions of years more advanced than us." "They destroyed species that fought alone," Chen corrected. "For the first time in galactic history, we are truly united. 47 species plus humanity. Thousands of worlds, trillions of beings. Different technologies, different thinking, different solutions to problems." She smiled, but it was a warrior's smile, hard and fierce. "Those ancient civilizations fought alone. We won't." Zalthos felt something stir in his chest. Hope. It was small, fragile, but real. "What do you need from us, Captain?" "Everything," Chen replied simply. "Every ship, every weapon, every scientist, every resource. We need to combine all our technology and create something new. Something those ancient weapons have never seen before." She activated a new hologram. It showed a design, a ship, but not like any ship that existed. "This is Project Unity," Chen explained. "A combination of human dark matter technology, Chromax plasma systems, Pelthian shield generators, Draxon armor plating, and weapon systems from 24 other species. A ship that represents all of us working together." The silent council, nothing happened. The seconds ticked by. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. The weapons above every homeworld remained charged, glowing with dark energy. But they did not fire. In the council chamber, nobody moved. Nobody breathed. They were all frozen, waiting for the end. Captain Chen's face remained on every screen. She was watching them, studying them, like a scientist observing an experiment. Finally, she spoke. "Time is up." Chancellor Vornak fell to his knees. Several other council members did the same. Some were crying. Others were praying to gods that had not answered. "You expected us to fire," Chen said softly. "You expected death, destruction, the end of everything you built over 10,000 years. She leaned back in her chair. Zalthos could see now that she was on the bridge of one of the massive warships. Behind her, human crew members worked at their stations, calm and professional, like this was just another day. "But we didn't fire," Chen continued. "Do you know why?" Nobody answered. They were too shocked to speak. Because that's the difference between you and us, Chen said. You threatened us. You rejected us. You tried to kill us with your warships just minutes ago. You've spent 10,000 years crushing species that don't obey you. General Thrax alone has destroyed 6 civilizations. She stood up from her chair and walked closer to the camera. Her face filled every screen in the chamber. We could destroy you right now. Easily. With one command, I could erase every council homeworld from existence. 47 planets, trillions of lives, gone in seconds, she paused. But we won't. Because despite what you think about us, despite calling us violent and primitive, we are not monsters. Zalthos felt something break inside his chest. Shame. Hot, burning shame. She was right. The Council had judged humans for being violent. But in this moment, with all the power in the galaxy, the humans chose mercy. The Council would have chosen destruction. Here is what will happen now, Captain Chen said, her voice becoming businesslike. The Galactic Council will accept humanity as a full member, with equal voting rights, with respect. We will not be your servants. We will not beg for scraps. We are equals. She raised one finger. First new rule, every species has one vote. No more, no less. Humans get one vote. The mighty Chromax Empire gets one vote. The smallest species gets one vote. Equal. A second finger. Second rule, no more rejecting species for being primitive or young. If a species can travel between stars and wishes to join, they are welcomed. No more arbitrary judgment. A third finger. Third rule, the Council votes on peace, not war. Before any military action is taken against any species anywhere, there must be a full Council vote. No more unilateral decisions. No more genocide. She lowered her hand. These rules are not negotiable. Accept them, and we will withdraw our fleet. Refuse them, and... She did not finish the sentence. She did not need to. The Council chamber was silent. Completely silent. For the first time in 10,000 years, the proud species of the Galactic Council had nothing to say. Commander Zalthos stood up. His legs were shaking, but he forced himself to stand straight. He was a warrior. He had honor. And honor meant accepting when you were defeated. I vote yes, he said loudly. His voice echoed through the silent chamber. Humans should join the Council as equals, with full rights. Everyone turned to stare at him. Some looked shocked. Others looked grateful that someone had finally spoken. Zalthos, you traitor, General Thrax shouted. How dare you? I am not a traitor, Zalthos interrupted. I am a warrior, and a warrior knows when he has lost. We lost this fight before it even began. Humans outsmarted us. They outplanned us. They built weapons we cannot fight. And even with all that power, they choose mercy. He looked directly at Thrax. When was the last time you chose mercy, General? Thrax's face turned red, but he had no answer. One by one, other council members started to stand. I vote yes, said Ambassador Krell, his voice shaky but clear. I vote yes, said the crystal scientist, still crying. I vote yes, said the representative from the Pelthian survivors. The species that Thrax had nearly destroyed, more voices joined. Species that had been enemies for centuries all agreed on one thing. They did not want to die. They did not want their homeworlds erased. They wanted to survive. Finally, only Chancellor Vornak remained seated. Everyone was looking at him. He was still the leader of the council. His vote mattered most. He sat there for a long moment, his forearms crossed, his red eyes dim. All his pride was gone. All his power meant nothing. He was just an old being who had lived too long and learned too little. He started, then stopped. He looked up at Captain Chen on the screen. You really won't destroy us. Not if you accept our terms, Chen replied. We don't want to be your enemies, Chancellor. We want to be your partners, your equals. Vornak closed his eyes. When he opened them again, something had changed. He looked tired, but also somehow relieved. I vote yes, he said quietly. Humanity is accepted into the Galactic Council as equals. For the first time in the history of the Galactic Council, a vote was unanimous. All 47 species agreed. Captain Chen smiled. This time it was a real smile. Warm and genuine. Good, she said. Then we have much work to do together. The galaxy is a dangerous place. There are threats out there that none of us can face alone. But together we might have a chance. What threats? Vornak asked. That's a discussion for another day, Chen replied. For now, we will withdraw our fleet from your homeworlds. But understand this. We will always be watching. If the Council ever returns to its old ways, if you ever threaten peaceful species again, we will come back. And next time, we will not be so patient. The screens went dark. The massive human warships around the Council station began to fade. They did not fly away. They did not jump to hyperspace. They simply phased back into dark matter space and disappeared. Like they were never there, but everyone knew the truth. They were still there, always watching, always ready. Zalthos walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Space looked normal again, beautiful, peaceful, but he would never see it the same way. He knew now that beneath the visible universe, in the dark matter that made up most of reality, humanity had built an empire, an invisible empire that could appear anywhere. "Anytime, Commander," a young officer approached him. "What do we do now?" Zalthos smiled sadly. "We learn, we adapt, we become better. Because if we don't, the humans will replace us. And maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing." 6 months later, the Galactic Council met again in the same crystal chamber. But everything was different now. New chairs had been added. Smaller species that had been rejected before were now sitting as full members. The chamber was more crowded, more noisy, more chaotic, but also more alive. At one of the new chairs sat Ambassador David Torres, representing humanity. He was young, enthusiastic, always asking questions. The other species had learned to respect his opinions, or at least to not ignore them. Today's meeting was about trade agreements. Boring stuff. Normal stuff. The kind of politics that happened when people were not trying to kill each other. Zalthos watched from his seat as different species argued about tariffs and shipping routes. It was messy. It was complicated. It was democracy. He liked it. After the meeting ended, he walked over to Ambassador Torres. "May I ask you something?" "Of course, Commander," Torres smiled. He was friendly, unlike the cold Captain Chen, but Zalthos knew the truth. Behind this friendly young man was the most powerful military in the galaxy. "Where is Captain Chen now?" Zalthos asked. "I never see her at these meetings." Torres's smile faded slightly. "Captain Chen is elsewhere, preparing. Preparing for what?" Torres looked around to make sure nobody else was listening. Then he leaned closer and whispered, "There are things in deep space, Commander. Old things, sleeping things. The humans found evidence of them when we were exploring dark matter space. Civilizations that died millions of years ago. Weapons that make our dark matter ships look like toys." Zalthos felt a chill run down his spine. "And these things, they're waking up?" "We don't know," Torres admitted. "But Captain Chen believes in being ready, just in case." He straightened up and his friendly smile returned. "But that's a worry for another day. Today we celebrate. The Council is working better than it has in centuries. Peace is spreading. Species are cooperating." Zalthos nodded. "Because of fear." She turned to Zalthos. "Commander, you're assigned to Unity as Chief Tactical Officer. Hope you don't mind working on a human ship." Zalthos smiled. It felt strange to smile at a time like this, but somehow appropriate. "It would be my honor, Captain." Together, they ran toward the docking bay where shuttles waited to take them to Unity. Behind them, the command center coordinated the final preparations. Ahead of them, the largest warship ever built waited to face the oldest enemy in the galaxy. As their shuttle approached Unity, Zalthos looked at the massive ship. Black hull from human technology, glowing shields from Pelthian science, weapon ports from a dozen different species. Armor from his own people. It was beautiful. "What are our chances?" he asked Chen quietly. She looked at him. "Honestly, maybe 10%. Those things have destroyed civilizations that were more advanced than us." "Only 10%, Zalthos said. Then he laughed. "On Draxon we have a saying. The warrior who faces impossible odds and fights anyway is the one our children sing about." Chen laughed too. "On Earth we say something similar. We say that humans are at their best when the odds are worst." The shuttle docked with Unity. Through the windows they could see the ancient weapons approaching. 4 creatures that had ended civilizations. 4 nightmares from the distant past. But now they faced something they had never encountered before. Unity. Not just a ship. Not just a weapon, but a symbol. 48 species working as one. Different technologies, different minds, different peoples. All united in one purpose, to survive, to protect the galaxy. to show that the present was stronger than the past. Captain Chen and Commander Zalthos walked onto Unity's bridge together. 10,000 crew members from across the galaxy waited at their stations. Every screen showed the approaching ancient weapons. Chen sat in the captain's chair. She took a deep breath. "All stations report," she ordered. "Weapons ready. Shields ready. Engines ready. Dark matter drive online. All systems green." Chen nodded. She looked around at her crew. Humans, Draxons, Chromax, Pelthians, species that had been enemies just months ago, now brothers and sisters in arms. "Today we face an enemy older than any of our civilizations," Chen said. Her voice broadcast throughout the ship. "They think we are prey. They think we are weak. They think we will die like all the others before us." She stood up. "They're wrong." She pointed at the view screen showing the ancient weapons. "We are not the civilizations that fell before. We are not divided. We are not alone. We are unity. And we will show these ancient relics that this galaxy belongs to us now." A cheer rose from the crew. From every species. One voice. "One battle cry! All power to forward shields," Chen ordered. "Charge all weapons. Prepare dark matter jump. We're taking the fight to them." "Course locked," the navigation officer reported. "Ready on your command, Captain." Chen raised her hand, held it there for one moment, one last moment of peace before the storm.